So Canada's largest cities are getting bigger and more expensive day by day, and a lot of people actually moving to different provinces like Calgary, Edmonton, or Nova Scotia. But people don't realize that a lot of Canadians are actually buying or moving to state of Florida. And we have Michael Boss here, who's been helping a lot of people moving to Florida, and then we're going to be talking about why people move to Florida. Michael Boss, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much.
So, Michael, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm licensed here in Ontario, and I'm also licensed in the state of Florida. I've actually been traveling back and forth for the last decade to Florida, buying for myself, working with clients, and helping them, obtain a beautiful property in the Sunshine State.
Okay, so what's actually interesting about Florida? Like, why people actually picking to moving or buying houses towards the Florida side?
I think a lot of people know about Florida. Florida's the second home to most Canadians. Anytime you mention Florida, they either have a relative there, their grandmother lives there, or they've been there, especially to Disney World or Miami. I think COVID changed a lot of people's perspective, where they realized where we were stuck here that there's other beautiful places to visit and more cost effective. So a lot of people, a lot of Canadians have been transitioning to the state of Florida to live there full time, not just to visit.
Okay, and when actually, because I talk to a lot of people, everybody's talking about, how interest rates are affecting their life. Everything is so expensive on their side. So they want to exit of these big cities, the big lifestyle cities, right? Either they have choice of moving to, which are most common cities, Calgary or Edmonton, right? Or Nova Scotia side. And a lot of people doesn't know, like, there's a big side of where people actually moving. You were giving me the numbers, which is like pretty
That's
big
right.
number.
So I mean, statistically, if you look at the numbers, there's currently about 3 million Canadians currently living there. Yes, some are retirees. A lot of people have moved there that are, still have younger children that decided they want to have a better lifestyle. Because we don't have winter in Florida. The cost of living is better.
That's what I actually wanted to ask you about. Like, a lot of people move out of these cities because of the cost of living, right? Either they pick Edmonton or Calgary, which is a little bit cheaper than this side.
Right.
So if you can let us know, like, what kind of numbers are we looking at if we wanted to buy house towards Florida side?
Well, I mean, the average home in the major cities like Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, they all range, but the average home price is about $380,000, which is a single family home, which is generally between 3 to 4 bedroom property. A lot of these homes are in gated communities, so you have the amenities of pools, and some are on golf courses. So Florida becomes really a lifestyle. It's not just purchasing a house, it's really enjoying your environment as well. Like if you want to play some golf, or you want to go to the beach, you have those options. It's really at your doorstep.
And a big part is like weather too. You were giving me a lot of insights, like what kind of weather like we expected when we arrive in Florida, right?
I mean, Florida is amazing. Some people complain it gets a little too hot, especially in the summer. The winters can range, but generally speaking, you're getting in the 30s, between the mid 20s to the 30s in January or February, which is fantastic. I mean, when we're here cold, shoveling our driveways, people are still out there enjoying the sun, going to the pool. So the lifestyle continues. It doesn't stop. We're here. It's more seasonal.
I mean, like, if we want to visit Florida, what do you think was the best month to actually see the beauty of Florida and then actually enjoy the weather?
You know what? Florida is so unique. I think any month is great. If you find it too hot in the summer, I wouldn't suggest going. The fall is amazing, and early winters is great too. You still get to go to the beach. You still get to go see all the major cities. You get to sit on the patios. I mean, it never ends there. There's always something to do in Florida.
Yes, actually, when people think of buying or moving to Florida side, what they need to afford those housing is jobs, right? So have you looked at the numbers, what kind of jobs or,
Absolutely. So, I mean, statistically, if you look at all the states, Florida is number 4 in the lowest unemployment rate. That means there's jobs there. They're creating jobs. There's infrastructure there. A lot of tech is moving to Florida as well. So there's a lot of hubs there. So there's a lot growing. And even if you go to places like Orlando, you'll see the transition. Like, it's just expanding and expanding. Tampa, booming. Sarasota, booming. You're going to see all the new developments, commercial space going up. So there's always continuous flow of things happening. It hasn't stopped. It's just been amazing.
No, that's great. Actually, me and Michael actually also looking to see Florida soon.
That's the plan, yeah.
That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
So, because you need to explore like what are the options, just not the, like a Calgary or the Minton. Like you're gonna be, you just leave on one end, then you'll be on another end,
Yeah,
right?
that's
The more
right.
you experience, goes, see things, then you can make up in your mind like what's the best choice. We talked about the cost of living, where you find a house about $1 million here, like close to any GTA area.
Absolutely.
And in Florida side, you can pick up for 350, right? Which is almost
Absolutely.
like 3 times less than.
I mean, Florida really is based on your income, and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So depending on what you could afford and where you want to live.
Yeah.
You want to live in a gated community with a golf course, clubhouse, all the amenities, lazy river, pools. I mean, I can go on gym.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to what we pay here, it's still cheaper.
It's still cheaper. And we talk about jobs then, right? So we have like, good jobs down there to export, because you talked about unemployment rate. And then there's another thing, taxes. That's like another big thing, right?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, there's no sales.
No state tax.
Yeah.
So I mean, people ask, well, where does Florida get their money from? They get it from sales tax, because everybody comes into Florida from other parts, from other states, from other countries, from South America, from Canada, you name it. It's a melting pot of different cultures that are coming to enjoy the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
So people go to Disney, sales tax,
Yeah.
right? They go to Miami, sales tax. Hospitality is huge in Florida.
Yeah.
Conventions. People fly in for conventions all the time.
Yeah.
So they get all their revenue primarily from sales tax, and which allows the people that live in Florida to save on income tax, because there's no state tax. So there's only federal. So you get to keep majority of your income, which is fantastic, because we all know our what we're paying here, especially in Ontario,
Yeah.
when it comes to income tax.
Yeah, income tax is big
Huge
on this,
here,
huge
huge,
here, right?
huge.
And as compared to like, even if you just cut down the state's tax, you can take a lot of money to your house actually just paying to the government, right?
Absolutely.
And do you have any idea like how much they charge for this sales tax?
It's close to around 7%.
7%.
Yeah.
And then you pay for federal as well, right? And you have been doing a lot of helping a lot of people moving from Canada to or either moving or buying, actually I would say buying their second home in Florida.
That's right.
And then you have done quite a bit of work on that side. So what's the process that actually looks like?
Well, I mean, there's two ways. So there's two types of buyers or investors or whatever you want to call it. One is basically people looking for investment properties,
Yeah.
where they get to buy them and they get to enjoy them.
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Banks like TD and RBC offer cross-border banking with as little as 20% down. You're able to purchase a home in Florida.
So you just need only 20% down just to buy.
Between 20 and 25%, depending obviously on your income and your credit.
Yeah.
But it's based on your Canadian income and your Canadian credit. You can even use a line of credit or a HELOC equity line as a down payment to purchase a property in the state of Florida.
And do you pay taxes on the sale?
If you sell the property, yes.
Yeah.
So you're not double taxed. I'm not an accountant by any means, but there are ways to do it. We will be doing a seminar on the 28th, which will have a tax attorney, and he can go into more depth of the tax implications.
No, 100%. So only you need say same criteria like as you look on this side of the Canada, like you need a down payment, and then you need a qualification for like as of your income, right?
That's correct.
And how do people see properties and stuff? If you kind of give me like what the process looks like. So
it's not so basically it's like this. You go through the let's say I deal with RBC a lot, for example. They work really well in getting things done quickly.
Yeah.
And I have a very good relationship with them.
Yeah.
I generally send them information on my clients. They put it through their portal.
Yeah.
They'll get contacted within 24 hours. They submit their information. They should have a pre-approval within 48 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly. And they will know, okay, based on what I've sent them, this is what I qualify for. Now you need that letter in order to purchase something, especially if you're going to buy in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
A lot of the listing agents will say, hey, is your client pre-approved?
Yeah.
Can I see the letter?
Okay.
Okay. And we get that immediately. And then from there, we basically, if we get the property, We do the closing and everything's. I kind of walk, my clients through the whole process.
So do the clients actually come to Florida to see the properties, or like?
You know what? I've sold a lot of homes sight unseen. So what we do is my team and I will have videos or FaceTime or whatever you use, WhatsApp, and then we'll actually walk through the property with you.
Yeah.
To take a look at the property. So
yeah, a lot of people actually just buy properties as their vacation homes or their second homes, right? So what do people do once they're done the vacationing, or like they spend like 2 months down there and then they want to come back to Canada and then do their own thing?
Yeah, I mean legally you're allowed to stay up to 6 months.
6 months.
So the advantage of purchasing there is, number one, is you have other people paying your mortgage.
Yeah.
And you have a vacation property that you can use.
So when you buy property, is it a property management, like when you say like they rent it out, is it a property management company where you buy it, or they have to do like Airbnb by themselves?
What I like to do is find properties that have no restrictions. So meaning you can live in it,
Yeah.
you can rent at any time, and there's no restrictions on the time limit of renting.
Okay.
So if you want to rent it for a day, a month, you could do whatever you like. Most of our clients will do it through Airbnb.
Yeah.
We can connect them with property management.
Yeah.
We do have resources like cleaning companies, handy people,
Yeah.
attorneys, people to do taxes if needed in the state of Florida. So we provide all those resources for our clients. We make it very easy. We basically hold their hand through the whole process.
Okay, and another thing I would just wanted to ask you, because how flexible are the restriction on that side? Because as we talk about it, like Toronto, Brampton and Vancouver, even Mississauga, like a lot of these properties where the condominiums are involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have so many restrictions. Like there's basically you have to get the permit from the city, and then you can do it for a certain time. How flexible you see state of Florida as compared to like Airbnb?
Well, they have designated areas, especially in Orlando, where they're specifically only designed for short-term rentals.
The whole city?
No, well, there's pockets like Davenport and Kissimmee, especially Champions Gate, which I'm sure a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
Those areas are short-term rental areas. So some may have small restrictions, some may have no restrictions.
Yeah.
And other parts of Orlando, you cannot do short, like Airbnb stuff.
Yeah.
But within those pockets, are short-term rentals because also the distance from the theme parks. So people like to go there because they're very close to Disney.
Disney, yeah. So there's a lot of demand of people just paying big bucks for the hotels, that they just want to rent out the small properties. So of Airbnb or any other sites they can find out, right?
Right.
So people just trying to save money all the time. So that's why people move to Florida and then enjoy the weather whenever it's snowing here.
It's basically you have a lifestyle. You make those choices. If you don't feel like going out, you don't go out. We're here. We really live on weekends.
Yeah.
And summer.
Yeah.
That's it. So we plan our whole life around kids are out of school, it's summer, we got to do something with the kids.
Yeah.
Or it's the weekend, we got to do something with the family.
Yeah.
Right? Generally speaking.
There
it's like it's a Tuesday and you feel like driving to Miami, go. You feel like taking a cruise, go.
Yeah.
Like you want to go to the Bahamas. I mean, we were there, we were going to take a cruise from Miami to Bahamas. They had a promotion where one person buys, the other person gets a free stay. It was like $600 to go to Bahamas.
Wow.
For 5 people.
Wow. That's
as a cruise. So it's amazing.
No, I mean, like, you gotta explore the things, because a lot of Canadian, when do you think of moving or buying, it just, people just feel like it's gonna be hassle. Like, I don't know what to do there, like how I'm gonna find Airbnb, how I'm gonna manage. Like, it comes with the scarcity when you actually moving, buying, especially even like here, like if you want to buy another property in Calgary, people just feel like it's gonna be a lot of hassle, because I don't know like how I'm gonna go there, manage the property, and what sort of things.
Absolutely.
Right? So how you feel like, because you have one property already
I
down
just
there,
purchased
right?
a new property. It's been a year. Well, April will be a year.
So how's the management coming along?
Well, we do the Airbnb side of it in Verbo.
Yeah.
It's been working really well. We have a smart home, so keypad locks, Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Electric thermostat. We can basically control the whole house through the phone.
Through the phone.
Because we have apps.
And how about the cleaning and everything?
We have a cleaning crew that comes there. They already know everything because we've gone through it with them.
Yeah.
And our clients have been also using the people that we use. So I've kind of been my own experiment or my own guinea pig from purchasing properties in Florida. I've done a lot of the legwork, so that I can make it very simple and easy for my clients.
No, 100%. I mean, like, once because people from here, they want to work with somebody who actually been through it, and then they have the system and it works in the place, so they can use and leverage that part to just make that transition, right?
Absolutely.
And another thing it just was coming in my mind. How's the process when you sell the property?
Well, that's a very, very good question. A lot of people talk about capital gains and taxation. I would love to go more into a deeper conversation, I think, once we do the seminar, because I will actually have a tax attorney there. And I think he would be able to explain it in more of a in-depth of the whole process. There is obviously tax implications like there would be here. But again, if you structure properly, a lot of people put their homes into corporations. So obviously corporate tax is less. You write off more. So there are things to do. You could write off your mortgage interest, for example. Stuff like that. So there are things that you could write off. And in order to save on taxes.
No, I mean, like, everybody's their financial structures are different. Like, some people, they already have corporations. They already have done some sort of housing on this side of Canada. And then it's easy for them, like, because they kind of understand the process. But like, for this person who just buying their second property down there, right? It's just
I know what you're saying. So what I found, like, even by going back for the last 10 years, you know how people here, we base it on future value? So we'll buy a property, maybe keep it a year or two, we'll flip it. People don't do as much flipping, unless you're actually just flipping homes. It's different, like you're going there, renovating and flipping. People tend to hold on to their properties in Florida, and they tend to buy more because it's all about cash flow. They like the consistent cash flow, and they enjoy the fact that they can travel there. And sometimes they may have a property in Orlando, then they'll buy a condo in Miami, in other parts, so they get to enjoy all parts of Florida and also continue getting a cash flow that comes in consistently. That's really what people base it on. It's not a huge turnover like you would see here, like people buy it within 9 months or a year, they flip it. People generally tend to hold on to their properties because it makes sense for them to continue getting that. And also, remember, you're also collecting in U.S. money. So when you do the conversion, it's like 30% more than we're getting here anyways.
Exactly. And especially when in this economy where our Canadian dollar is kind of losing value as compared to USD, right? So you want to hold more of the USD as compared to like Canadian. So I mean, like, there's another safe pocket that where you can build more money and then get, like, 30% is on your money is a big chunk. Right, it's a big return on your money, even like you're just saving the USD as compared to Canadian, right? And another thing I wanted to ask you, because I've never been to Florida, but I'm planning to go visit you because you have insisted me.
You're coming for sure.
How's the safety down there? Like, because there's a news like every other day, like in Mississauga, Milton, Brampton,
really,
right?
You know what? I think the news, never brings you good news. It brings you negativity. Something bad's happened because they got to keep it entertaining, and people love negativity. People ask me about hurricanes, and they ask me about crime. Hurricanes have been in Florida forever. They have them every year. It doesn't mean they affect every part of Florida in such a horrific way that it destroys your home or people are running. I mean, it feels like a storm in the sense of, like, you're getting rain, you're getting wind, but within a few days it goes away. Sometimes in a day or two it's gone. Yes, they've had major storms like last year, but I tend to buy stuff kind of more inland, like Orlando, for example. Yes, there's a lot of wind. Yes, it was raining, but I was there during the hurricane. I just want to make that clear. I was watching Netflix and chilling, but it was different. But I wasn't worried because majority of the homes are built on concrete block. You're not buying a stick home or a wooden home, generally speaking, especially new construction. They're all created. They have hurricane windows, hurricane doors. The way even the roofs are designed to sustain a hurricane. I mean, you don't want stuff flying off your roof. So they've really taken a lot of effort into making sure that you're safe. Okay, that's hurricanes. Again, I've been there through hurricanes. I've been there when there weren't hurricanes. I felt okay. When it comes to crime, I think with the population of Florida is more than half of Canada's population. I'm not talking about Ontario. I'm talking about Canada's. So yeah, there will be areas that have a little bit more crime, which is normal. But as to feeling safe, I don't ever feel unsafe. It's actually amazing. I feel, I have children. We're in a gated community. We go to the stores, we go to the restaurants. I feel great. Like I don't ever feel that I'm unsafe.
Yeah.
You know,
And another thing I wanted to pick your brain on, like, so when people looking to buy, 300,000 worth of properties, so what kind of how you see the cash flow on that side?
Okay, so first of all, I'm investor driven. So, and I think as an investor, because I'm an investor, I work with investors.
Yeah.
Besides my, experience, in my opinion, I also use software like Airbnb software. So I determine like occupancy rates, average nightly rates. Mm-hmm. So, based on that, we can determine, okay, within that community, because there's different communities. Remember, you're not buying in a city, you're buying in a community. Within a city. So some communities do better than other communities. It's very different than here. Like, I bought in Brampton or I bought in Mississauga, so the homes are this much.
Yeah.
Because some communities they're gated, right? Yeah. So they have different amenities. They have different stuff going on. The proximity from the parks, if we're basing on Orlando, for example.
Yeah.
So I use software, plus I get, if we're looking at a property, I also request, because most people, I'd say 99.9 are renting them out, they can provide me sales reports.
Yeah.
They can say, okay, here's a sales report for 2022. This is the percentage of, how many, and how long it's been rented, percentage wise.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting average rent per day, for example. So I compare that also to my software, and generally it's somewhat close. I mean, in my community, our occupancy is between 75 to 80%, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Like, as long as your property is paying for itself and then putting some money in your pocket, or you saving that USD dollars, it's gold, right? On that side, if you look at it. Because otherwise, if you just, buying another property here in Mississauga, first thing is like, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Because anything you buy decent, like 600,000, 700,000, or up to $1 million, right? But as compared to like Florida, it's just 300,000 or 400,000.
And you're not paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're putting 20 to 25% down. Your property's under 400 grand. Again, it depends on the property and what you're doing.
Yeah.
There are homes that are 8 bedroom, 10 bedroom, and they're in communities where they're strictly short-term rental. Mm-hmm. Like you can't live in them. These homes are designed just for short-term rental, but they're averaging renting, 7, 8, 1,000, maybe more. High season, 2,000-3,000 a night. Sorry. So it depends.
$2,000 a night.
So I have a client. She brings about 20. She's got a 8 bedroom. She's bringing about 20,000 a month.
$20,000 USD a month.
A month.
Then it's just it's like a cash flow machine.
It's a cash flow machine.
It's a cash flow machine.
She bought it early COVID, so her home is worth more, quite a bit more. But she's bringing about 20,000.
Another thing I wanted to ask you on this one, as you know, like the market is going down in Ontario, or like all over Canada, except Calgary, I think is kind of still standing. How you see Florida market right now after the COVID?
It hasn't dropped yet.
Any percentage, or
I haven't seen a drop in price. It's actually more expensive than last year, because if you compare the communities that my clients have purchased in and where I purchased in comparison to this year, they're still more expensive than last year. It's slowed down in the way of people kind of stepping back a little bit and then kind of making a decision. But I feel that a lot of people are buying, especially from different countries and states where there's a lot of cash buyers. So people are sold their home, they're sitting on proper, and they got $300,000-400,000.
Yeah.
They're going to take it and they're going to pay cash for this property, and then maybe in a year or two they might refinance and take their money out.
Yeah, another thing, because this is like now kind of interesting me more. Like I really want to go down
there
and explore.
It's amazing.
And explore. And what are the qualifications to buy a house there? Like you have to be Canadian citizen, or you have to be like permanent resident?
So RBC TD, like I said, I work with RBC, but I mean TD is a great bank too.
Yeah.
They have programs. It's called cross-border banking. So they really designed it because they understand that the number one buyer in Florida is Canadians.
Canadians.
Right. So they get it. It's a huge market. So Canadians would always go to these American banks, and they'd be, or banks or companies or whatever, using mortgage brokers, and they'd be paying 30% down, and they'd pay higher interest rates. So the bank realized there's a huge market. So they base it strictly on your Canadian credit. So it's based really as, hey, this is what you qualify for based on your income, your credit, and it's generally between 20 to 25% down. If it is a Airbnb, generally it's about 25%. If it's a secondary home, it's about 20% down.
Okay, but is there any restriction on your status? Like,
no, there's a treaty between Canada and us. United States and Canada.
Yeah.
So we don't get treated any differently, and this is why we get even tax implications.
Yeah.
There's a tax treaty between Canada and the United States. That's why we get treated differently than like somebody coming from South America or some other foreign country. We just did a transaction. My clients bought a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom townhouse in Davenport, Florida, in a gated community for $270,000.
Wow.
Okay.
And what's the age of the townhouse?
They're probably maybe about 20 years old. But again, they don't have the kind of elements that we have, right? They don't have winter and all that stuff. So generally speaking, the roofs are not getting beat up as much as here with the major winds and all that other things. It's in a gated community. They're like walking distance to the pool. They're ecstatic about their purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, can you do that here? No. And the property already came with bookings. So the seller transferred their Airbnb bookings to them. So as soon as they left, they're already making money. Especially now, March break is huge.
Florida is a big time.
So one thing about Florida you guys have to understand is that, yes, people say it's seasonal sometimes, depending on where you are. Orlando is always going because people are always coming to Disney.
Yeah.
Right? They're not necessarily coming to the beach.
Yeah.
They're coming to Disney. People may slow down going to the beach because it gets a little colder.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Disney, it doesn't stop.
And people just prefer, like, they can travel 1 hour, hour and a half just to get there, and then come back and stay there.
Well, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes
Yeah.
on a flight. By the time you watch a movie on the plane, you're really in Florida.
Yeah.
You leave there at 7 o'clock, you're there for breakfast. So it's amazing. It's super quick. It feels like you're here, so you don't have a culture shock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all the major stores or Fortune 500s like your Walmarts and all that other stuff, that's all American.
That's all.
All our franchises, they're all American
Yeah.
primarily. So you feel like you're here really,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I know we are actually, guys, doing a seminar on 28th of March.
28th of March,
and which
6
is gonna involve like a lot of there's gonna be RBC banking people
David,
come here. And we were talking about it's going to be a tax person.
Yes, so David Altro Law. David Altro will be here. He's a tax attorney. He specializes in cross-border banking, cross-border taxes.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for so many years. So he has offices in Florida, and he's actually a lawyer in the state of Florida and in Canada. And he works with Canadians setting up, all their, tax stuff, like if they want to create a corporation or whatever they want to do. And then we're going to have RBC here, and we're going to actually have a special guest here, head of business development. Alon Forget is going to be here too. He's going to come, out of courtesy to me. He's going to fly in, and he's going to also present here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, hopefully we're going to have a huge turn up.
No, thank you so much for sharing so much actually, because I'm getting interested to go down see
Absolutely.
things, right?
It's amazing.
And definitely we're gonna leave the link down below if you guys are more interested, and if you want to come talk to us in person, Mississauga, Port Credit, on 28th of March. We are open for I think we just starting getting the numbers registrations. We're gonna leave the link below for you to register. Absolutely. And then we'll send you the more information, address and time and all that sort of stuff. But thank you so much, Michael, to share the information. I'm excited to go down there.
He's going to have a lot of fun. I just want to leave everybody with a note that life is better under the sun.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much.